If you ask 10 people what DEI is, you're going to get 10 different responses.
Wow.
And that's part of the problem. So I'm going to speak from just things I've studied, what I think. So DEI has been around for almost 60 years now. It really started with the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And that was really focused on 5 protected characteristics. So when people think diversity, they're thinking of those 5 protected characteristics. It ranges from race to national origin to religion to color, all of those things. Okay. Gender. And so when you think about diversity, that's what people think. They just think of those 5 visible characteristics, but it has expanded so much. You have some organizations like Inclusion Score that really say there's 27 diversity dimensions, right? And that can go from, like, Kim, you're a veteran, that can go to parents, that can go to, like Tasha talked about, with accessibility, right? So people can enjoy something in a way that maybe another person cannot. And so all of those factors are diversity. It's our unique differences that make us who we are. So oftentimes people just think race, and that's what DEI has been coined to represent these days. But there is 27 plus, and DEI diversity is different depending on your country, right? And the importance. So it is a global thing. It's not just an American thing. It's not just a race thing, because diversity is represented in countries that are all homogenous, so all the same races. So again, diversity is everything that makes us uniquely ourselves, all of our differences. And you can formalize those differences. There can be over 27. However, when most people think about it, they think of those protected characteristics under the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VII, specifically, especially in organizations.
Wow.
Now, let's go to equity. Okay. So, equity is removing barriers so there is equal output. Equity is not a handout. Equity is fair treatment. Okay. So, what does that mean? It's very similar to what Tasha did earlier. She gave an extra description so someone who doesn't have the same abilities can still enjoy the same thing. So, I love this
Woo.
picture that, shows people picking apples. And I often say in a workshop, do you see anyone saying you can't pick the apple, or you won't pick the apple, or you don't have to pick the apple? And everyone's like, oh, no, no, no. I just see someone with 3 boxes versus 1 box versus no box. That is equity. Equity is saying you still gonna get these apples because that's the goal, right? But
Mm.
what do I need to provide? What do I need to remove so you have access and the opportunity to still go for that same apple? That is equity. Okay. Inclusion, that is a person, a people, feeling included, feeling valued, feeling heard, feeling seen, feeling respected, right? That's why I wore my shirt today, respect, feeling respected in anywhere, right? But in a workplace. Now, there are a lot of conversations like, oh, if we talk about inclusion, who's setting the standard and all of these other things? We could peel those back, but at its basic core, it's people feeling included, it's them feeling valued, it's them feeling heard and respected. Now, when we put all that together, we can say these same words without even talking about race. So, in my opinion, now I'm going to Alma's opinion, DEI is not racial justice. That's something different. When we talk about DEI, we are talking about how are we navigating differences, how are we removing barriers and obstacles so they still have access, and then how are we maximizing strengths, valuing and respecting these people for their uniqueness. And I'm going to say in the workplace. So I know that was a long answer, but I wanted to break that down, because DEI is also very structured. Like, there are policy changes that can help implement DEI. There are structural changes that help implement DEI. Again, it's not just the woke term of the year. There is a lot of metrics and tangible actions that go behind increasing representation, removing barriers, providing opportunities, and then maximizing and valuing people for their strengths and their uniqueness.